a screeching voice, at first only as fragments, but gradually the fragments became sentences, and finally the meaning of the sentences became apparent.
The first time I saw the screen, I realized that there were going to be a group of people standing inside a circle. And the first thing that came to mind was the stone circle in my uncle's backyard in Wales. The idea of the circle with people standing inside it is extremely old, and it's found in many cultures all over the world. It has something mystical about it, some kind of ritual or some kind of action takes place between people who are interviewing a shaman, whatever. So I thought about the idea of an oracle, which is somebody or a person with access to a special kind of information which is not accessible to other people. And that person has the duty or the task to inform other people, an audience, about certain states, about their condition, about the world or whatever. Now normally in Western society people have a certain degree of contempt for these primitive cultures, these shaman cultures, but in fact our culture is interwoven with the idea of getting information which we simply accept, which we believe without any form of skepticism. That was one of the interesting parts, or one of the interesting thoughts that motivated me from the start, because we look at television, which is most powerful media. There's a newscaster sitting giving us information which everybody believes unquestioningly, in the same way that more primitive peoples would listen to the shaman and receive information from him and believe that implicitly. And nobody has the actual possibility of proving this or testing this information. We simply accept it because it's in the context of a newscast. Of course, we realize that implicit in the language, in the media, is a certain manipulation. But how that manipulation takes place, nobody really thinks about it.
It's not my job to provide answers. My task is to formulate the questions.
So what we did was we thought about the oracle process. There's ritual, which in our case has 10 phases. The first phase is dancing, then there's a phase of clearing, there's a phase of creating a circle around the panorama screen, there's a phase of chanting and singing to call the oracle, the appearance of the oracle who makes his first statement. He's called back again, makes a second statement, he's called back again, makes a third statement, then he's dismissed and the circle is destroyed. Those are the steps that take place in a typical shaman sort of ritual. So for each of these steps we made a small group of clips, all on the same subject, and Joachim Tesch wrote this wonderful program which selects from each group one clip and puts them together to form a unique ritual. We calculated there's an enormous number of possible combinations. Each combination is a unique narrative. So every person who's going to start the oracle process will get a fairly unique answer from the oracle.
So you really believe that groups of wise men engage in hours of debate based on their vast experience and high intellect to decide upon your fate? Were you comforted by the thought that specialists, scientists, theoreticians, designers, and engineers operating in coordinated unison steer the world in the direction of ever-increasing safety?
This is not the real panorama screen. This is only a test version of a very small test version of the panorama screen, which we use to test the movie clips and the sound, because it's very difficult working on a flat monitor when afterwards you see the image very much larger in a circular format. And the same applies to the sound. The sound changes quite radically when you listen to it within a panorama setting. So at the moment behind me here you see my colleague and friend with whom I've been working for many years, Sean Reed, who's a composer, and we've worked on many projects together in the past. It's one of the things, one of my favorite scenes is because I like the goldfish very much.
I was going to say, and
I really like
water's boiling. Right?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that was very important to me personally, but I think probably for me and Sean Reed, was the fact that we didn't want to make something which was purely a technical demonstration. We didn't want to make something which was just a theoretical, of theoretical interest. We wanted to make a piece of work that had a strong emotive content. And from my personal point of view, I'm not afraid to use forms and contents that are generally considered to be entertaining. I'm not afraid of using things which are emotive in the sense that they provoke emotions or strong feelings. I'm not afraid of using commercial forms. So all of these things have influenced the way that we designed this project. The other thing is also that I live in Japan. I work with young Japanese students who are not interested in high art. They are interested in popular culture, manga, anime, and things like that, which are easily accessible. And I see a certain logic in that. What they make is sometimes perhaps considered to be entertaining, but it's very accessible. I think it's important to be accessible to an audience who shouldn't really need a degree in media theory to be able to grasp a piece of work, to be able to be provoked by a piece of work.
Here's the message given to explorers. Move on. Moved by the shifting tectonic plates or by the illusion of free will. You may think that one existence is as good as another, but you are in charge of the tap that releases the Zeitbombe.